The Kansas City Stars season comes to an end in overtime in the semifinals, and Northwest Arkansas is your 2026 league champions. I'll talk about that and some final thoughts on this episode of the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. And welcome to the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, Rob Plamondon. Thank you for watching. Just some reminders, as always, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, if you're not following the Stars on social media, links to X, Instagram, and Facebook are in the description. Today's podcast brought to you by Clarkson Construction, a Midwest leader in delivering innovative solutions for some of the region's largest infrastructure projects. By Global Earthworks and Underground, more than 12 years of mission-critical experience providing expert site utilities, mass excavation, and paving services. And by Crown Realty, family-owned and operated since 1973, the oldest and largest independent real estate firm in the area. We want to thank our sponsors for their support of Kansas City Stars hockey. Well, the season came to an end last weekend with the Mid-America High School Hockey League tournament, and the Stars losing in a very close, tough game to the Kansas City Knights in overtime in the semifinals by a score of 4-3. So their season comes to an end. They had hoped to have another chance at the Ice Hogs, but it just wasn't meant to be. So the Stars again losing it 4-3 in overtime. I'll talk about that game in just a moment. But the Stars made it to the semifinals by first beating a very pesky Springfield Spirit team in the first round. A game that was a lot closer than I think anyone expected. The Stars winning that game 3-2 and having to hang on at the end as the Spirit really put a lot of pressure on the Stars, and Caleb Weddlestedt in goal had to make some saves. And the Stars had to hang on just to secure the win. But it looked like the Stars were going to kind of jumped out to an early lead midway through the first period. Jimmy Gorder picking up a goal with an assist to Jackson Tillery, but just really about just a little over a minute later, Jackson Crow for the Spirit blocks a shot. He goes in on a partial breakaway. Great job by Seton Swan to try to get back on the forecheck, but just wasn't quite enough as Crow was able to get the puck through the 5-hole. That tied it at 1, and that's how the first period ended. Shots on goal, by my count, were fairly even in this game. In fact, for the whole game, the Stars, according to the official stats, outshot Springfield 32-28. I think I had maybe a little bit closer, but actually very, very close in terms of shots on goal. Second period, Stars came out with a couple of goals midway through the period. It was Truett Spiker doing a really good job of keeping the puck in the zone. He gets the goal, and then later in the period, Jackson Riggs picking up a goal to make it 3-1. This was a really nice play. It was started by Spiker. He got the puck ahead to Jimmy Gorder, who passed it to Riggs, who was cutting across the ice just outside the blue line, took the puck into the zone, got around the defender, and wristed one past the goalie for a goal to make it 3-1. But just late in the period on the power play, Springfield came back. It was Bryce Burrell. He did, I thought, a really nice job in this goal. Took the puck into the zone, skated it along the blue line just inside the zone, waited for the screen, and then wristed a shot that went through the legs of Justin Schutzler. And before Weddlestedt was able to see it, it was too late. The puck was in the back of the net, and that made it 3-2. The third period of this game, Springfield put a lot of pressure on the Stars. In fact, the Stars had to kill a couple penalties, including one late. Had a chance at a couple empty net goals toward the end, but missed it. But they were able to hang on and win this game 3-2. And my initial thoughts and talking to the coaches after the game, certainly not the best game by the Stars. I give a lot of credit to Springfield for the way they played. but possibly the Stars looking ahead to that second round, maybe not taking Springfield as seriously as they should have. A lot of undisciplined play, especially after they went up 3-0. 4 penalties. Stars had to kill 6 minutes of penalty time in that third period, which gave Springfield several opportunities to tie the game. And fortunately for the Stars, they were not able to do so. And just everything kind of offensively really came from that first line. There just wasn't enough from the second and third line in this game to extend that lead, but the Stars are able to win it 3-2, and that took them to the semifinal game against the Knights, who made it by beating the Saints 4-1 in the first round. And this game kind of started auspiciously for the Stars. I thought the Knights did a really good job of putting a lot of pressure, and they were able to get on the board first. Bo Smith getting the goal, assisted by Brown and McClin. And then later in the first period, in fact, just past the midway point of the first period, the Knights made it 2-0. Lincoln Kukine took the puck on a breakaway, wristed a shot that looked like it hit the crossbar, and then the back of Tanner Brace, and the puck was outside the goal. The Stars were ready to clear it when the goal was actually signaled by the linesman, who was further down the ice, and the referee was still behind the play. I have not seen, I watched the video a number of times and have not seen that the puck went in. It certainly didn't look like it went in real time, and I have yet to see a replay that suggested the puck went in, but there is no replay here, and it was ruled a goal. So that made it 2-0 just past the midway point of the first period. But Justin Schutzler got the Stars on the board with just under 6 minutes to play, taking a pass from Ben Grant and wristing it past Knights goalie Trent Smith. That made it 2-1. That's how the first period ended. Stars came out with a lot of energy in the second period. Jackson Riggs tied the game a little over a minute into the period. He actually pickpocketed Evan Comey, spun the puck toward the net, and Trent Smith was just not able to see it. In fact, I'm not even sure he was expecting it. The play happened so fast, and that tied it at 2. Stars took the lead midway through the second period. The Stars had a 5-on-3 power play. Carson Reuter had an opportunity where he hit the crossbar, but just after the first penalty expired, Ben Grant took a pass from Weston Glendenning and a wrist shot that beat Smith on the glove side, picked up a nice screen on the shot and really made it tough for Smith to see the puck. That made it 3-2. Reuter also picking up an assist on that goal, and the Stars really had all the momentum at this point, having taken the lead. But the Knights would tie it with just under 4.5 minutes to play in the period. It was Hoyt Banks picking up the goal. Assist went to Evan Comey. And this play started on a turnover in the defensive end, and that unfortunately was the theme of throughout the season, and would end up being the Stars' undoing in this game. The turnover, Banks taking the shot, Brace made the save. Puck came out to Banks, who knocked it in, and that made it 3-3. Pretty exciting third period. I will say the Knights seemed to control a lot of the play in the third period. Some nice saves by Brace along the way. Stars had some chances themselves, but just not able to convert. And as the period went on, you kind of sensed the teams were getting a little bit more defensive, more cautious with the puck, as I'm sure they should be. Neither team able to score, so the game went to overtime. I thought the Stars did a good job in the first part of the overtime. They controlled the first several minutes of the overtime with some scoring chances, but it would ultimately be a turnover in the defensive zone that would come back to bite them with just under 10 minutes to play. The puck behind the net. Chase Neal took it away from one of the Stars, centers it out to Bo Smith. He knocks it past Brace, and that won the game for the Knights, so they advanced to the finals to play the Northwest Arkansas Ice Hogs, who advanced to the finals by beating Wichita after this game by a score of 6-2. But Good game, two very evenly matched teams. Just in the end, game could have really gone either way. Both teams had chances, and in the end, it was just the Knights that made the play at the end, and they get the win. Northwest Arkansas would go on to beat the Knights in the championship game by a score of 4-0. I watched that game. They scored 2 goals early in the first period, and then 2 empty netters at the end when the Knights were putting on the extra attacker. I thought the game in the middle was very sloppy, certainly on the part of Northwest Arkansas. They picked up a lot of penalties in this game, but the Knights were not able to take advantage of any of the power plays, and the Ice Hogs will go on to win it. They finish a near-perfect season. The only blemish on their record was a tie in the opening game. They've won every other game since then, so clearly the best team in the league, and congratulations to the Ice Hogs on winning the 2026 Mid-America High School Hockey League Championship. Just a note, too, the JV team, they were knocked out in the first round against the Midmo Tigers, a 4-1 loss to the Tigers. So tough going there for the JV team as they get knocked out in the first round. And the JV champion, also the Northwest Arkansas Ice Hogs. So a sweep for the Ice Hogs in both the JV and the varsity. When I come back, I'll have some final thoughts on this season, on this episode of the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. Well, this will be the last episode of this year, and I just wanted to close it out with some final thoughts. First of all, I want to thank Coach Jim Bakowitz, assistant coach, or Mike Sobilski, for inviting me back this year to do the live stream of the home games and the games in town, and doing the podcast this year. Podcast was a little different in that I didn't do really many player interviews. I just had a chance to interview the captains. I wanted to do more of that. It's just sometimes it's hard to do that with time constraints and scheduling and just when things occur. But maybe in the future we can get more player interviews. I thought this was a fun season. I was able to do more games than last year just because of the most of the games were in town and the number of games that were at Casey Ice Center. I thought this year's team was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think back if this was if they had more wins than any of the teams I'd been associated with. They either have or were very, very close, but this was a really good team, I thought, and a team that really had an opportunity to compete for a championship. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way in the end, but certainly this team was good enough to have had an opportunity to play for the championship. I think just the one team that they didn't beat this year was Northwest Arkansas, and fair to say nobody beat them. So, but they did beat everybody else on the schedule. And if I'm thinking correctly, I think they won the season series against everybody else. So I think they were clearly the second best team, although you could argue the Knights in Wichita were right there with them, and I think that's fair. But a great group of kids, a lot of fun calling the games this year, a lot of great goals, a lot of great play on the ice, a lot of good individual, good team efforts, and just a lot of fun to watch this team this year. And I think it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to next year. I know the seniors who are graduating and moving on, certainly been a lot of fun following them over the last few years and calling the games for them. But I think this team has a lot of good players coming back, and I think there's some good players on the JV that are going to step in and fill some of those vacancies. And just look forward to seeing how this team does next year. And the kids are going to step into those leadership roles as the seniors as they move on. And I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity. I want to thank everyone for watching the live streams. I hope I did a good job of calling the games, that you followed the games, and they were somewhat entertaining. And I want to thank you all for watching these podcasts. And I'm certainly open to any ideas you might have for how to make the podcast better in the future. So with that, I'm going to wrap up Season 2. Again, I want to thank you for watching the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast.